In the world of modern football, there are players who shine, and then there are players who redefine the very fabric of the game. Kylian Mbappé belongs firmly in the latter category. From his meteoric rise at AS Monaco to becoming a global sensation with Paris Saint-Germain and the French national team, Mbappé has been thrilling football fans with his unparalleled combination of speed, skill, and intelligence. While many players stand out with either technical finesse or raw physical attributes, Mbappé blends these elements seamlessly, with speed becoming his most game-changing weapon. But what truly sets him apart is not just how fast he moves, but how he uses this velocity as a strategic tool that reshapes entire match dynamics. Speed has always been a valuable asset in football, but Mbappe's approach elevates it to new heights. His lightning acceleration and ability to change direction in the blink of an eye allow him to outmaneuver opponents with unmatched precision. For Mbappé, speed is not just about running faster. It's about timing, positioning, and making game-altering decisions before defenders even realize what's happening. Whether he's charging down the flanks or cutting through the heart of the defense, Mbappé forces opposing teams to rethink their strategies, making him one of the most feared forwards in the sport today. This video will dissect how Kylian Mbappe's speed revolution is rewriting the rules of modern football. We'll dive into the biomechanics behind his explosive acceleration, the mental sharpness that complements his physical abilities, and the ripple effects his playing style creates for both teammates and opponents. By understanding these key elements, we'll uncover how Mbappé not only dominates on the pitch, but also inspires a new generation of players to adapt to an evolving, faster-paced game. Speed has always been a valuable asset in football, but the standards have shifted dramatically over the decades. In the mid-20th century, players like Alfredo Di Stefano showcased remarkable agility and control that made them appear quick for their time. Yet, the true introduction of raw pace into the game can be tied to players like George Best in the 1960s and 70s. Best was an innovator in utilizing speed in tight spaces, darting past defenders with a mix of quick bursts and impeccable ball control. While ground speed was less scientifically measured back then, it was clear his unmatched acceleration left his opponents scrambling. By the 1990s and early 2000s, football started to embrace a new breed of athlete, one that paired speed with physical power. Take Brazilian legend Ronaldo Nazario, for instance. Known as El Fenomeno, Ronaldo combined sprinting ability with incredible ball control, often accelerating past defenders while maintaining full command of the ball. He set benchmarks for explosive speed in a footballing context. Around the same era, Thierry Henry graced the Premier League with extraordinary runs that redefined how forwards could exploit space behind defensive lines. These players elevated the significance of speed as a tactical weapon, but the technological and training advancements of today have pushed these limits even further. Enter Kylian Mbappé, a player whose top recorded speed of 38 kilometers per hour has cemented his reputation as one of football's fastest. Unlike his predecessors, Mbappé doesn't just rely on straight-line speed. He pairs it with rapid decision-making, tactical awareness, and technical precision. Modern advancements in sports science and biomechanics have given athletes like Mbappé a competitive edge, but what truly separates him is how he integrates his speed into every aspect of his game. When he accelerates, it's not just about covering distance. It's about creating scoring opportunities, destabilizing defensive structures, and dictating the pace of play itself. In this respect, Mbappé is more than just fast. He is the definition of speed applied with intent. Kylian Mbappé's ability to accelerate explosively from a dead stop defies conventional expectations for football athletes. His secret lies in his finely tuned biomechanics. From the moment he takes off, the alignment of his body maximizes power. Watch closely during one of his iconic sprints, and you'll notice how he leans forward at just the right angle, typically around 45 degrees. This positioning allows him to direct the full force of his leg drive into propelling his body forward, minimizing energy loss and maximizing efficiency. His technique mirrors that of elite sprinters, but what's remarkable is how he adapts it to the quick, stop-start dynamics of a football match, a skill most track athletes can't replicate on the field. It's not just the angle of the lean. Mbappé's muscular mechanics also play a pivotal role. His legs function like coiled springs, particularly his quadriceps and hamstrings. When he powers off, his stride pattern is perfectly calibrated. He keeps his strides short at first, building momentum by applying maximum force against the ground. With each step, his stride length increases without compromising speed, a trait that reflects superior muscle coordination and training. This meticulous sequencing, short, powerful steps transitioning into longer, fluid strides, lets him hit top speed in mere seconds, outpacing defenders before they have time to react. Perhaps most impressive is how Mbappé couples this acceleration with decision-making under pressure. Speed alone isn't enough in football. It's the ability to read the game in milliseconds and choose the right moment to burst forward that makes him unstoppable. His brain acts as the command center, syncing his physical mechanics with tactical awareness. For instance, in a split second, he processes the positioning of defenders, the trajectory of the ball, and delivers a perfectly timed acceleration. This fusion of cognitive and physical speed is what sets Mbappé apart, turning his acceleration into a weapon that disrupts entire defensive lines. One of Kylian Mbappe's most defining traits is his ability to maintain flawless technical control while reaching breathtaking speeds. It's not just that he's fast, plenty of players are quick. What sets Mbappé apart is how he handles the ball while sprinting at a pace that would leave most players struggling just to keep up. He applies a calculated precision to every touch, ensuring that the ball remains close to his feet, while using subtle feints and body movements to unsettle defenders. This rare coordination allows him to weave through opposition lines with the grace of a traditional dribbler, but at a speed that forces opponents to react almost instinctively, leaving them prone to mistakes. Perhaps the finest example of this blend of technique and speed can be seen in his one-on-one situations. When Mbappé faces a defender, it becomes a battle of milliseconds. His quick touches, paired with his ability to change direction mid-sprint, mirror the agility of a winger but amplified by his explosive acceleration. For example, in crucial Champions League matches, viewers have witnessed him glide past some of Europe's elite defenders, his control never wavering. It's a poetic combination of instinct and skill that few in football history have managed to replicate at his velocity. This fusion of pace and precision doesn't come by chance. It's a product of relentless training and intelligent gameplay. Mbappe's drills emphasize keeping the ball under control even during all-out sprints, using angled cone runs, tight slalom patterns, and short burst accelerations with the ball. Beyond physical conditioning, his decision-making under pressure amplifies his abilities. While many players lose composure at high speeds, Mbappé has the rare gift of maintaining a clear mind. He often opts for a clever cutback or a precise through ball, exploiting milliseconds where defenders are still recovering. This adaptability is why he continues to redefine what being a forward means in the modern game. One of the most remarkable aspects of Kylian Mbappé's game is how he pairs incredible physical speed with mental sharpness. In a typical match, he often finds himself sprinting down the flank or through the center, pursued by defenders and drawing the attention of multiple opponents. What makes him stand out isn't just his raw pace, it's the precision of his choices in these chaotic moments. Whether it's deciding to execute a sudden cut inside, deliver a pinpoint cross, or take a powerful shot on goal, Mbappé processes these options almost instinctively. His ability to assess the positioning of defenders, the goalie's stance, and his teammates' runs, all while operating at maximum velocity, demonstrates extraordinary mental clarity under pressure. This lightning-fast decision-making often manifests in critical moments, such as counterattacks. In a matter of seconds, while covering large patches of the pitch, Mbappé can identify whether to carry the ball himself or release it to a supporting teammate. One iconic example came during France's 2022 World Cup campaign, when Mbappé led a blistering counterattack against Poland. Sprinting nearly half the length of the field, he paused just long enough to thread a perfectly timed pass that split two defenders and allowed his teammate to score. These split-second decisions are not just about instinct, but years of tactical training and experience embedded into his playstyle. Mbappé's composure under pressure is also evident in one-on-one situations with goalkeepers, a scenario where many players falter. Despite accelerating toward goal at astonishing speeds, he often remains calm, adjusting his body position and timing to outsmart the goalie. In one match for PSG, he executed a seemingly impossible roulette move at full speed, freezing the keeper and slotting the ball home with surgical precision. It's this rare combination of explosive pace and deliberate decision-making that not only sets Mbappé apart, but also reshapes what it means to thrive under the game's most intense moments. One of the most striking ways Kylian Mbappe's speed influences team tactics is through the art of the counterattack. For both PSG and the French national team, he serves as the centerpiece of rapid transitional play. When his team regains possession, Mbappé has the ability to instantly exploit defensive disorganization. His first few steps are critical, quickly gaining separation from defenders and pushing the game into the opposition's half within moments. PSG often capitalizes on this by playing long diagonal balls into the open spaces behind the backline, where Mbappé makes his signature off-the-shoulder runs. In the 2018 FIFA World Cup, for example, his blistering pace on the break against Argentina led directly to key goals, a textbook illustration of how his acceleration leaves defenders scrambling and turns a routine clearance into a decisive attacking opportunity. Mbappe's speed also forces tactical adjustments in defensive setups, often creating space for his teammates to exploit. Opponents frequently drop their defensive lines deeper to counter his pace, but this reaction comes with its own risks. By stretching defenses vertically, Mbappé opens up gaps between midfield and defense, allowing creative players like Neymar or Antoine Griezmann to operate with more freedom. Additionally, his presence can draw multiple defenders out of position, leading to mismatches elsewhere on the field. A prime example was seen in PSG's Champions League campaigns, where his surging runs on the wing often dragged fullbacks out wide, creating lanes for overlapping midfielders to exploit. His tactical impact goes beyond just speed. It's his combination of pace and positioning that transforms defensive errors into goal-scoring opportunities. One of Kylian Mbappe's most devastating traits is his ability to disrupt defensive organizations by exploiting even the smallest gaps. Whether facing a low block or a compact high press, Mbappe's speed goes beyond just running past defenders. It's about timing, understanding space, and executing sharp bursts that catch defenders off guard. His uncanny perception of defensive setups allows him to anticipate moments when defenders lose their shape, be it from a poorly timed step-up, an aggressive lunge, or a brief hesitation. These moments align perfectly with Mbappe's acceleration, as he can shift gears instantaneously, turning marginal spatial advantages into game-breaking opportunities. A prime example of this can be seen during his iconic Champions League performance against Barcelona in 2021, where his blistering runs consistently carved through a historically well-organized backline, resulting in a stunning hat-trick. But it's not just raw speed, it's control within the chaos. Mbappe's ability to break defensive lines is complemented by his precise ball handling and quick decision-making under pressure. As defenders scramble to close him down, Mbappé stays cool and exploits the defensive disarray he generates. He uses a combination of feints, deft touches, and clever positioning to maintain possession at full sprint, shifting between wide runs along the channel and cutting inside to maximize his attacking angles. For coaches and analysts, this fusion of mental sharpness with physical explosiveness is redefining what a forward can achieve in tight spaces. Tactically, defenders are often left with a lose-lose choice. Commit to intercepting him and risk being beaten for pace, or hang back and give him the space to dictate the attacking flow. This dilemma is what makes Mbappé such a nightmare for even the world's best defensive setups. In the modern era of football, counterattacking has become one of the most effective strategies for breaking down opposition defenses. Kylian Mbappé stands at the forefront of this tactical evolution. His explosive acceleration and ability to transition from defense to attack in seconds have redefined what it means to execute a counterattack effectively. Teams like Paris Saint-Germain and the French national squad often design their entire strategy around Mbappe's ability to exploit these moments of transition. As soon as possession is regained, their first instinct is to launch the ball into space where Mbappé thrives, a design that highlights his pivotal role in making counterattacks lethal. What sets Mbappé apart in counterattacking football is his ability to track and adjust his movement in perfect synchronization with the flow of the game. Unlike traditional forwards who rely primarily on straight-line speed, Mbappé combines lateral agility and quick decision-making to outweak defenders. This is evident when he shifts gears in the blink of an eye, cutting inside, finding pockets of space, or sprinting into wide positions, essentially dismantling defensive structures. For example, his iconic counterattack goal against Argentina in the 2018 World Cup showcased his complete mastery of this skill. Clocking nearly 38 kilometers per hour during his sprint, he turned a defensive clearance into one of the tournament's standout moments, demonstrating how precise execution can amplify raw physical attributes. Mbappe's role in modern counterattacking isn't just limited to executing quick transitions himself. It extends to how he affects the behavior of opposing teams. Defenders often drop deeper to mitigate his runs, which opens up spaces for his teammates to exploit. This domino effect is a key illustration of how Mbappe's presence alone reshapes tactical approaches on both ends. Additionally, his adaptability allows him to flourish in various counterattacking setups, whether as the lone striker racing for a through ball or as a wide forward cutting diagonally from the flanks to ignite chaos. Comparisons to legends such as Thierry Henry are inevitable, but Mbappe's distinct playing style, built on an unmatched combination of raw pace, flexibility, and tactical awareness, positions him as a generational phenomenon in counterattacking football. When talking about the fastest players in football today, names like Erling Haaland, Vinicius Jr., and Adama Traoré often come to mind. Each of them showcases raw speed in different ways. Haaland's long strides make him devastating in transition, while Vinicius Jr. uses his rapid bursts and change of direction to torment defenders on the wings. Adama Traoré, meanwhile, often relies on sheer physical power combined with rapid acceleration to bulldoze through opponents. But what sets Kylian Mbappé apart is his ability to synergize pure velocity with an elite level of technical mastery. While other speedsters often rely instinctively on their pace, Mbappé operates with a brain as fast as his feet, consistently making calculated decisions in high-pressure moments. This combination allows him not just to beat defenders, but to dictate the tempo of entire plays, an asset unmatched by his peers. Another way Mbappé differentiates himself is his multidimensional use of speed. Unlike Haaland, who thrives in straight-line sprints toward goal, or Vinicius Jr., who typically sticks to wide spaces, Mbappé's acceleration is versatile, allowing him to effortlessly shift from wings to central areas. For example, Mbappé's ability to burst past defenders while maintaining flawless ball control adds an extra layer of unpredictability to his game. Defenders not only have to match his pace, but anticipate his direction, which is a nearly impossible task given his sharp changes in trajectory. With his sprint mechanics, close control, and strategic movements, Mbappé forces entire defensive setups to adjust, something even the fastest players like Traoré and Vinicius don't consistently achieve. Simply put, Mbappé isn't just fast, he's fast with an unmatched purpose. Kylian Mbappé's explosive speed isn't just a product of genetic advantage. It's the result of carefully crafted training routines that target power, acceleration, and endurance. One cornerstone of his regimen is resisted sprinting. This technique involves dragging a weighted sled or wearing resistance bands while sprinting short distances. By adding controlled resistance, Mbappé builds strength in his quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, muscles responsible for generating explosive acceleration. Over time, these drills improve his ability to power off the starting line, a skill evident during his rapid bursts past defenders. To add context, these sessions are meticulously planned to include brief but intense reps followed by short recovery periods, mimicking the demands of a real match where speed is often crucial in brief, high-stakes moments. By incorporating this into his training, Mbappé fine-tunes the quick-twitch muscle fibers that contribute to his unparalleled acceleration. Another essential component of Mbappé's training is agility-focused cone drills, which sharpen his ability to make rapid directional changes. In these drills, he weaves between brightly colored cones arranged unpredictably, forcing his body to react quickly and maintain balance under pressure. The focus isn't just on speed but also on precision and coordination, mimicking the complexities of real in-game movements. One particular drill commonly seen in his training involves the zigzag sprint, which requires controlled deceleration and quick pivots, key for outmaneuvering defenders. This combination of agility and flexibility allows Mbappé to deliver those iconic, quick cuts that leave opponents struggling to keep up. The emphasis on spatial awareness throughout the exercise also helps him stay grounded and avoid overextending his stride, even at maximum speed. To complete his speed development, Mbappé incorporates high-intensity endurance circuits designed to sustain his performance deep into matches. These circuits mix short-distance sprints with aerobic workouts like cycling and plyometric movements such as box jumps. The idea is to build not only explosive power, but also the stamina required to execute those bursts repeatedly over 90 minutes. One notable sequence involves alternating between treadmill sprints at maximum intensity and explosive jumping exercises, which improves his ability to recover quickly between sprints. This conditioning ensures that Mbappé remains a constant threat on the pitch, unlocking his signature ability to impact games in the dying minutes as defenders tire. It's more than raw speed. It's efficiency and sustainability that set him apart. Kylian Mbappé is renowned for his offensive prowess, but his speed proves just as valuable when the play shifts defensively. In modern football, high-pressure systems demand rapid transitions, where players must not only advance quickly in attack, but also retreat or disrupt counterattacks at pace. Mbappé thrives in these situations by using his outstanding acceleration to intercept passes, close gaps, and recover possession before the opposing team gains momentum. For example, in high-stakes matches, Mbappé is often seen sprinting back from the final third to the midline, snuffing out potential threats with the same agility he'd use to advance towards goal. His ability to switch gears, both mentally and physically, ensures his defensive impact is just as game-changing as his offensive brilliance. The key to Mbappé's defensive contributions lies in his strategic use of speed. Rather than blindly chasing the ball, he uses his explosive pace judiciously to cut off passing lanes or apply pressure on playmakers. One example is his ability to disrupt opposition buildups by timing his sprints to challenge defensive midfielders or wingbacks, often forcing panic passes or turnovers. What sets him apart is not just the raw speed, but the ability to decelerate sharply and position himself intelligently, creating defensive angles that force errors. This measured approach redefines how a forward can perform defensive tasks without compromising offensive readiness. Perhaps one of the most striking aspects of Mbappé's defensive involvement is how it inspires his team during critical moments. For instance, in matches against dominant ball possession sides, his relentless effort to track back sets the standard for work ethic and energizes his teammates to close down space collectively. Mbappé's aptitude in nullifying threats while maintaining offensive readiness also allows his teams to recover and turn defense into attack with minimal delay. His teammates know that even if they push high and the ball is lost, Mbappé's unmatched recovery speed provides a safety valve. This two-way influence, where his speed dictates the flow of the game both defensively and offensively, underscores why Mbappé remains a comprehensive cornerstone in modern tactical setups. If this breakdown is helping, tap like and subscribe so you do not miss the next deep dive. Kylian Mbappé's blistering speed doesn't just challenge the physical limits of defenders, it disrupts their mental game. Facing Mbappé, defenders are often forced into a chess match against his pace, anticipating his next move with heightened caution. His ability to transition from a standing start to full sprint in mere seconds creates unique pressure situations, where one misstep or slight hesitation can lead to devastating consequences. This fear factor is most noticeable when defenders are forced to drop deeper than usual, creating spatial gaps between defensive lines that his teammates can exploit. For example, in high-stakes matches like the Champions League, Mbappé's speed has repeatedly forced seasoned defenders to abandon their usual composure, such as when Bayern Munich's backline had to constantly readjust their positioning to avoid getting caught out by one of his iconic diagonal runs. Adding to the psychological strain is the fact that Mbappé's pace puts defenders in a constant state of decision-making paralysis. Should they engage early and risk being beaten by his acceleration, or hang back, conceding space that may allow him to dictate the play? This dilemma forces even elite players into conservative, reactionary tactics, which disrupt defensive organization. For instance, during France's 2018 World Cup campaign, his unparalleled speed drew fouls in critical areas, such as the penalty he won against Argentina after a 70-yard sprint. These moments reveal how his speed turns mental stress into tangible advantages for his team, reshaping how defenders approach not only Mbappé but the entire flow of the game. Kylian Mbappé is not just fast, he operates at a speed that seems to defy football's conventional limitations. To break this down scientifically, consider a key moment: Mbappé's sprint against Lionel Messi's Argentina during the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Clocked at a staggering 38 kilometers per hour, he not only outpaced defenders, but also matched velocities typical in Olympic sprint events. How does he achieve this? The answer lies in a combination of biomechanics and raw athleticism. Mbappé's acceleration phase is a masterpiece of physics. His ground contact time is significantly shorter compared to most players, meaning his muscles generate peak force in minimal time, propelling him forward with explosive bursts. Additionally, his elongated stride length, measured at just over 7 meters per second during peak sprints, optimizes distance covered without compromising stability or control. But speed isn't just about running fast, it's about accelerating at the right moment and sustaining velocity. Mbappé excels in both. Data shows that he can accelerate to 90% of his top speed within just 3 strides, a feat made possible by advanced muscle elasticity, especially in his quadriceps and calf muscles. This remarkable quick burst ability allows him to create separation from defenders in tight spaces or during counterattacks. Once at full speed, Mbappé utilizes minimal energy wastage thanks to optimal limb alignment and efficient torso rotation. This balance conserves stamina and sharpens his focus, enabling him to manipulate his pace during dribbles or while making critical off-the-ball runs. In football, where milliseconds matter, these small margins are what transform his velocity into game-winning plays. One of Kylian Mbappé's most iconic displays of speed came during the 2018 World Cup round of 16 clash between France and Argentina. With the score tied, Mbappé exploded down the field from his own half, covering nearly 60 meters in just over 6 seconds. His blistering pace left defenders scrambling, forcing a foul in the box that resulted in a penalty for France. The run not only set the tone for his dominance in the match, but also symbolized his ability to shift the momentum of a game through sheer velocity. It stands as a defining example of how Mbappé's speed isn't just an individual weapon, it's a catalyst for game-changing moments. Another unforgettable moment came in February 2021 when Paris Saint-Germain faced Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League. Mbappé's hat-trick performance stole the headlines, but one moment of breathtaking acceleration stood out. Late in the first half, Mbappé took off down the left flank at full throttle, weaving effortlessly past Jordi Alba and Gerard Piqué. His sprint created a space so immense that he had time to control the ball and fire a lethal finish into the top corner. This moment highlighted his ability to use acceleration not only to physically bypass defenders, but also to create the time he needs for clinical decision-making on the ball. Finally, in PSG's electrifying matchup against Manchester City during the 2021-2022 season, Mbappé demonstrated his ability to use speed strategically. With defenders tightly marking him, he timed his break perfectly, meeting Neymar's pass with an explosive burst that left the City defense trailing. In just a few strides, Mbappé was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, slotting the ball calmly into the net. This play not only demonstrated his sprinting prowess, but his understanding of timing, a critical component that turns raw speed into decisive plays. For goalkeepers, facing Kylian Mbappé's blistering speed presents a unique and high-stakes challenge. Unlike many forwards, Mbappé's rapid acceleration leaves keepers with mere seconds to assess his intentions. Many professional goalkeepers have commented on the difficulty of reading his movements due to his ability to mask his next move until the very last moment. Analyzing one-on-one situations, some goalkeepers, like Italy's Gianluigi Donnarumma, have remarked that Mbappé's explosiveness forces them to stay low and reactive, as committing too early means conceding a goal. His ability to disguise whether he'll shoot or attempt to round the keeper adds yet another layer of complexity. In interviews, seasoned keepers have admitted that when Mbappé approaches at full speed, their peripheral strategies often shift to minimizing the angles available to him, which is easier said than done given his football intelligence. One notable example occurred during the 2022 UEFA Champions League, when Mbappe's sprint down the left flank against Real Madrid caused absolute panic for the opposing goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois. Despite Courtois being a towering figure known for his shot-stopping prowess, he later admitted the immense pressure of trying to predict Mbappe's decision-making when running at full tilt. Instead of relying on traditional techniques, goalkeepers often hope to rely on split-second instincts when faced with his pace. Analysts have also pointed out that many keepers retreat slightly deeper in their box against Mbappé to buy an extra fraction of a second, a rare adjustment that highlights how he alters even the most fundamental aspects of the goalie playbook. These adaptations showcase the profound psychological and tactical impacts of his speed on the game at large. Kylian Mbappe's blistering speed is both his greatest weapon and a significant physical challenge. To reach his peak, Mbappé frequently pushes his body to its limits, relying on powerful bursts of acceleration and rapid deceleration, which place immense strain on his muscles, ligaments, and joints. Over the years, certain injuries have highlighted the vulnerability that comes with playing at such a relentless pace. For instance, in 2020, Mbappé suffered an ankle ligament injury during Paris Saint-Germain's French Cup final, a reminder of how sudden changes in speed and direction can result in serious damage. Playing at speeds that regularly exceed 35 kilometers per hour increases the risk of soft tissue injuries like hamstring strains and groin pulls, which are common for players operating in his physical tier. While his explosiveness makes him a nightmare for defenders, it also forces his body to withstand a level of mechanical stress that most players don't typically confront. Beyond isolated injuries, maintaining elite speed through the grueling football calendar introduces challenges of recovery and durability. Mbappe's schedule often features over 50 high-intensity matches per season, leading to cumulative wear and tear on his body. To mitigate these risks, Mbappe's team employs cutting-edge recovery techniques, including cryotherapy, massage therapy, and customized stretching regimens. Additionally, his training focuses on maintaining a balance between explosive power and injury prevention, with particular emphasis on core stability and lower body strength. Yet, even with these measures, the demands placed on his body remain extraordinary. The cost of sustaining his high-speed style serves as a stark reality of what it takes to define modern football at the elite level. Kylian Mbappe's explosive speed is undeniably one of his greatest assets, making him a nightmare for defenders and a crucial player in any team setup. But as with every athlete, age will eventually impact his physical attributes. Historically, players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Arjen Robben faced similar crossroads. In Ronaldo's case, he evolved from a lightning-fast winger into a clinical box striker, while Robben focused on becoming more tactical and precise in his movements. Mbappe's unique skill set, the ability to blend speed with remarkable technical control, positions him to take a similar adaptive approach as he matures. His agility, creativity, and vision could allow him to shift emphasis from raw acceleration to intelligent positioning and playmaking over time. One central question is whether Mbappe's tactical intelligence could make up for the inevitable decline in his raw speed. If we look to players like Lionel Messi, who transitioned from his rapid drives down the wing to becoming a midfield maestro, it's clear that football allows room for reinvention. Mbappe's game intelligence, his expert timing, ability to spot gaps, and knack for reading defensive movements, could play a dominant role in his evolution. By adapting his game to focus more on creating space for teammates or crafting goal-scoring opportunities in tighter spaces, Mbappé could maintain his dominance well into his 30s. Finally, modern advancements in sports science and training give Mbappé the tools to extend his peak performance years. Regenerative recovery methods, tailored fitness regimens, and position-specific conditioning can amplify longevity for today's footballers. Considering Mbappe's already disciplined approach to maintaining peak physical condition, it's likely that he could channel speed into situations where it's most impactful, rather than relying on it for every play. In scenarios like these, Mbappé won't lose his uniqueness. He'll simply redefine it. By transitioning seamlessly between goal scoring, creative build-up, and tactical adaptability, he could continue to dictate the pace of modern football for years to come. Kylian Mbappe's iconic combination of explosive acceleration and precise control on the pitch has sparked a global shift in football training culture, especially among young players. Aspiring talents now view speed not just as an asset, but as a definitive tool for success in modern football. From youth academies in Europe to grassroots programs across Africa and South America, new drills focused on replicating Mbappe's sprint mechanics and quick directional changes are becoming staples in player development. For example, coaches are emphasizing resisted sprint training, ladder drills for foot speed, and plyometric exercises to build explosive power, all inspired by the way Mbappé dominates through acceleration. This shift reflects a game where rapid transitions and counterattacks increasingly determine outcomes, making speed training an indispensable part of preparation for the next generation. Beyond physical speed, Mbappe's ability to pair agility with tactical sharpness is teaching young players the importance of decision-making under pressure. Training regimens now include drills that challenge athletes to sprint while maintaining control of the ball and scanning the field for opportunities, replicating Mbappe's renowned blend of pace and intelligence. Highlighting this influence, academy directors have reported increased demand for agility-focused training programs that prioritize game awareness alongside raw speed. For instance, many academies are adopting shadow play drills, where players sprint with the ball while simulating scenarios like breaking through defensive lines or triggering counterattacks. Mbappe's success illustrates to budding athletes that speed isn't just about running fast. It's about integrating velocity seamlessly into a strategic approach, reshaping player expectations and skill priorities. When it comes to raw speed, Kylian Mbappé doesn't just participate, he dominates. One of his most jaw-dropping moments came during a match against AS Monaco in 2019, where he was clocked sprinting at an astonishing 38 kilometers per hour. This not only shattered records at the time, but placed Mbappe's name firmly in discussions about the fastest football players ever recorded. To put this into perspective, the universally recognized speedsters of earlier eras, like Thierry Henry or Gareth Bale, peaked around 35 to 36 kilometers per hour. Mbappe's speed isn't just a step ahead, it's a leap. But how does Mbappe's acceleration compare to other modern players known for their speed, such as Arjen Robben or Cristiano Ronaldo in their prime? One iconic example to analyze is Robben's 37 kilometers per hour sprint at the 2014 FIFA World Cup against Spain. Mbappé surpasses even this incredible run, showcasing not just raw pace but the ability to maintain control of the ball at higher speeds, an area where many other fast players falter. His ability to execute precise changes in direction without breaking stride makes him a standout in the football world. The significance of Mbappe's velocity extends beyond raw numbers. His ability to generate maximum speed within just a few strides not only breaks the limits of what was previously considered possible, but also forces teams worldwide to rethink their defensive strategies. The ripple effect of his speed can be seen across football, with analysts and coaches studying whether modern players might sustain bursts beyond 40 kilometers per hour in the near future. While Mbappé currently holds the throne as one of the fastest in history, his achievements might just be the tip of the iceberg for what's possible in the evolution of athletic performance within football. When comparing Kylian Mbappé to Thierry Henry, it's impossible to ignore their shared mastery of speed as a game-changing asset. Both players have become poster boys for the lethal combination of pace and precision, with Henry setting the standard in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Henry's long, elegant strides and his ability to effortlessly glide past defenders drew comparisons to a cheetah in motion, often leaving opposing teams scrambling to adjust. Similarly, Mbappé exhibits unparalleled acceleration, but where the two differ is in how they approach space. Henry excelled in exploiting space on the flanks before cutting inside, while Mbappé thrives in tight spaces, using quick bursts of pace to maneuver through crowded defensive lines. Another critical point of distinction is how each player employs their technical abilities in tandem with their speed. Henry was known for his finesse and composure, often slowing down just enough to perfectly time a shot past the goalkeeper. Mbappé, on the other hand, pushes the envelope by maintaining blistering pace even during high-intensity dribbling, balancing intricate footwork with rapid movements that often overwhelm defenders. This ability to control the ball as though tethered to his boots, even at top speeds, is an evolution of Henry's model and reflects the higher demands of modern football, where split-second decision-making is more pivotal than ever. Tactically, the roles of Henry and Mbappé have also diverged due to shifts in the footballing landscape. Henry, often deployed as an inverted winger or central striker, thrived in creating and finishing chances in a transitional style of play, capitalizing on counterattacks with Arsenal's dynamic system. Mbappé, however, operates in a more multifaceted role, seamlessly switching between wide forward and central attacking positions to exploit vulnerabilities in defensive setups. His speed forces teams into deeper defensive blocks, opening up creative opportunities for teammates, a hallmark of the modern game that Henry's era rarely saw. Thus, while Henry laid the groundwork for speed-based forwards, Mbappé has redefined it, solidifying his place as the next evolutionary step in this lineage. Kylian Mbappe's breathtaking speed isn't just a hallmark of his playing style. It has become a cultural symbol. In France, his meteoric rise mirrors the resilience and ambition that resonate with younger generations, particularly in underserved communities. Fans see his acceleration not just on the pitch, but as an embodiment of breaking barriers and chasing success on a global stage. This connection has led to Mbappé becoming an aspirational figure, emblematic of youthful energy and limitless potential, a role he embraces both in his public appearances and through philanthropy aimed at empowering youth. Globally, Mbappe's speed is redefining how fans perceive athleticism in football. Social media buzzes with highlights of his jaw-dropping runs, often trending within minutes of a match. His sprint during the 2018 World Cup quarterfinals, where he covered nearly 70 meters to set up a decisive goal, became a viral moment, influencing memes, debates, and even fan art. In parallel, brands have seized this phenomenon, incorporating his speed into marketing campaigns that celebrate his dynamism. Whether it's in sportswear ads or video game features where his pace dominates, Mbappe's quickness transcends football, entering mainstream pop culture in unprecedented ways. Mbappe's influence is particularly evident among aspiring footballers, who now prioritize speed as a critical attribute. Social media platforms are filled with young players replicating his signature explosive moves, like his sudden change of pace or weaving runs, and using hashtags to tag their progress. Aspiring athletes no longer view raw speed as optional, but as essential, inspired by Mbappe's ability to change games in mere seconds. This cultural shift is also reflected in coaching priorities, with grassroots academies integrating speed drills tailored to mimicking his style, cementing Mbappe's legacy as a catalyst for this transformation in modern football education. Let's start with one of the cutting-edge metrics redefining modern football analysis: expected sprint goals, or XSG. This metric estimates the likelihood of a scoring opportunity based on a player's speed when they receive the ball, their positioning, and their ability to capitalize on a high-tempo attack. For Kylian Mbappé, his expected sprint goals consistently rank among the highest in world football. What sets him apart isn't just his raw pace, but his ability to execute precision finishes even when sprinting at full speed. For instance, in the 2022 FIFA World Cup, Mbappe's XSG was nearly double the tournament average among forwards. This stat highlights how his velocity doesn't just get him into goal-scoring positions, it makes those positions far more threatening. Another fascinating data visualization comes from sprint velocity heat maps, which track how players use their speed in various zones on the pitch. Mbappe's heat maps reveal a player who thrives in wide channels, frequently cutting in from the flanks with surgical precision. These maps also underline his ability to maintain peak sprint speeds over longer distances compared to nearly any other forward. During league play for Paris Saint-Germain, Mbappé has clocked sprints above 35 kilometers per hour multiple times in a single match, with his longest sustained burst covering over 60 meters, showcasing his incredible endurance under pressure. What truly amplifies the significance of these analytics is Mbappe's ability to translate them into tactical advantages. His sprint velocity doesn't just disrupt defensive structures, it forces opponents to overcommit resources to neutralize him, creating space for his teammates. Statistically, teams facing Mbappé experience higher rates of defensive disorganization, reflected in a measurable increase in costly positional errors. In fact, analysts have tracked that defenders assigned to shadow Mbappé are 24% more likely to be drawn out of their optimal zones, leaving gaps that PSG or the French national team exploit with devastating efficiency. Kylian Mbappé and Lionel Messi embody two seemingly opposing approaches to football greatness. Mbappé thrives on his extraordinary speed, capable of reaching mind-boggling sprint levels while maintaining control of the ball. His ability to burst past defenders with explosive acceleration creates chaos on the field, turning ordinary plays into game-changing moments. This reliance on speed is particularly evident in counterattacks, where Mbappé almost single-handedly stretches opposing defensive lines, creating space for teammates and opportunities for quick, lethal finishes. In contrast, Lionel Messi's mastery lies in pinpoint technical precision, reading multiple defenders like pieces on a chessboard. Messi doesn't need top-tier speed when his ball handling, spatial awareness, and ability to anticipate movements allow him to glide through the tightest defensive setups. Where Mbappe's power resides in sheer physical velocity, Messi's lies in mental velocity, or the ability to stay one step ahead in thought and execution. These contrasts highlight how the game accommodates diverse paths to supremacy. Mbappé, leaning heavily on speed, forces entire defensive units to rethink their tactics, ensuring space is always at a premium. His rapid transitions command attention. He dictates the pace of the match, leaving defenders scrambling to contain his bursts. Meanwhile, Messi's technique-centered approach promotes calculated maneuvering, built on misdirection, patience, and surgical precision. Each player's style influences not only their team strategies, but broader perceptions of how greatness in football is achieved. Messi represents artistry, an understanding of the game's nuances honed over decades. Mbappé symbolizes modern athleticism, a forward who pushes physical limits to redefine tactical possibilities. Their differing strengths make them symbols of innovation, showcasing how both speed and finesse have become equally vital elements in the evolving landscape of football. Gone are the days when the prototypical forward relied solely on physical presence to dominate the box. Kylian Mbappé is proving that in today's game, speed and agility can trump raw strength, revolutionizing the modern forward role. Unlike many traditional strikers, Mbappé thrives in open spaces, using his explosive acceleration and unmatched velocity to outpace defenders both on and off the ball. His quickness through transitions allows him to adapt fluidly, whether he's countering, leading positional play, or driving into the final third. But what truly sets him apart is how he marries this speed with football intelligence, like his instinct for anticipating defensive shifts and his ability to exploit those moments. This shift places tactical speed at the forefront of forward play, fundamentally altering the expectations for players in his position. This evolution in the forward position is particularly evident during high-stakes games. While imposing forwards of the past often used sheer physicality to outmuscle defenders, Mbappe's approach neutralizes those same defenders by forcing them into a reactive state. Take, for example, situations where a single burst of speed can stretch an entire defensive line, creating space for his teammates to capitalize. Modern tactical systems now emphasize recognizing and leveraging such speed assets, with Mbappé as the gold standard. His performances have inspired a rethinking of what is required from future football forwards, as youth academies increasingly emphasize sprinting mechanics and in-game speed decision-making in their developmental programs. Mbappé is the embodiment of this paradigm shift, an archetype for the forward who uses speed not just as a tool, but as a defining principle of their game. Kylian Mbappe's career thus far is proof that speed in football is no longer just a supplementary skill, but a defining feature of the modern game. His ability to combine explosive acceleration, flawless technical control, and razor-sharp decision-making has raised the bar for what it means to dominate the pitch. He doesn't just play fast, he plays smart and fast, a rare combination that has turned him into an unstoppable force. From breaking records in sprint speed to producing more scoring opportunities through blistering counterattacks, he's redefined how speed works as a tactical weapon. No longer merely about outrunning defenders, it's also about creating opportunities, disrupting defensive setups, and allowing his team to play a more fluid, unpredictable game. But Mbappe's influence extends far beyond the numbers. His innovative use of speed has shifted the focus of player development and training regimes around the world. Aspiring players and even established professionals are now placing greater emphasis on developing agility, acceleration, and controlled speed in competitive scenarios. Football academies globally are adapting their methodologies, incorporating sprint drills, explosive power training, and scenario-based simulations that mirror Mbappe's style of play. It's not just about being fast anymore. It's about understanding when, where, and how to deploy that speed to create an advantage. Mbappe has effectively inspired a new generation of players to think beyond raw athleticism and embrace the marriage of speed with football intelligence. As we look to the future, one thing is clear. Kylian Mbappe's speed revolution will leave a lasting impact on football for generations to come. Players, coaches, and analysts are already recalibrating their understanding of the game to match the standards he has set. Whether it's his ability to turn fleeting moments into match-winning opportunities or his role in reshaping defensive and offensive tactics, Mbappe has become the pace setter, both literally and figuratively, in modern football. While we may one day see a decline in his physical speed, the legacy of his playing style will persist, influencing how football is played, taught, and imagined. Mbappe isn't just fast in the present. He's running ahead into the future of the sport. If you want more no-fluff videos like this on Kylian Mbappe's unique playing style, subscribe now and share this with one friend who follows the game.